Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Career Evangelist podcast. And today we have a guest with us. We have Anmol SINGH. Anmol is a live trader and he's going to be answering all your questions regarding trading. So I'm going to let Anmol introduce himself so that you guys can get to know him better. Hey, Anmol, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. To give your listeners a bit about me, my name is Anmol Singh. I currently live in New York and I trade the stock market for a living and have been since 2010. So on my 13th year now, involved in the stock market and also have LiveTraders where I coach and train other aspiring traders. Apart from that, I'm involved in a lot of different other ventures. I'm an angel investor in different startup companies and also wrote a book called Prepping for Success.
Awesome. So trading is brutal. That has been my experience. And of course, for you to have been doing this for a long time, I think you know what you are doing. So tell us, why did you start trading?
Yeah, definitely. I was in college in London, just studying a business degree. And, in the second year in London, you start applying for internships. You apply for jobs, you apply for all sorts of things. Before you graduate, you take 1 year to work. So that was the year when I was applying for a lot of different jobs from, the best companies all the way down to startups. And I just couldn't get in anywhere. Wouldn't get a call back. Nobody was answering. Wouldn't get a reply on the applications that I made. So then it dawned on me that, you know what, maybe I'm not going to be able to find a job. I have to do something to take control of my own financial future. And it was a very hard time, like watching all of your friends just get nice jobs and internships, and you're in your dorm room not doing anything at all. So that was the time where I started learning and taking courses into the stock market, reading books about it, watching documentaries about it, and really researching. So that was kind of the moment where the seed of trading was planted in my second year of college.
Oh, that's good. So how can you be a successful trader? What are the things that maybe you would recommend for somebody to look out for if they want to be successful at trading?
Yeah, definitely. I think the first thing people need to realize is that it's a business, it's a profession. So just like anything else, you will have to have a learning curve. There will be a learning curve. You'll have to go through all of that and you have to learn. I think a lot of people these days, they open up a Robinhood account or any brokerage account and then they're like, oh, I'm a trader, but that's not what a trader is. Pushing the buy or sell button is not what makes a trader. A real trader will have strategies and tactics and they've been back tested. So what we do is we take all of our strategies and see how they would have performed last 5 years, last 10 years, right? Last month. So we're trying to create a system that we can continuously do and execute and follow on. And it's a very systematic approach. Real trading is not that exciting. When you watch on TV, you see all these people just, pushing the button, Wall Street. It's not that exciting. Real trading should be boring. It's a spreadsheets, it's statistics, it's you executing on your model. It's not a lot of excitement. So I think the first thing people need to do is just have an open mind, have a willingness to learn, and only get into this if you're actually curious about it. If you're just getting it for the money, it's not going to last.
So what are some ways to learn? Because I enjoy learning. And of course, obviously, you have LiveTrader, your own company. What are some ways that you would recommend for people to learn? Maybe YouTube. I don't know, but we want to hear from you. How can we
Yeah,
trade?
definitely. I think to get started, YouTube is actually a great resource. The only problem with YouTube is that there's no one style of trading. Everybody has a different way of trading. Everybody has a different style of trading. Some people trade every little second, every little minute. Some people hold for months and weeks and years, right? So what you have to do is first you have to determine what style of trader do you want to be. Do you want to be a short-term trader? Do you want to be a long-term investor? So there's many different ways. So first you decide that. And then the second thing you decide is how much time you have to devote to it. Because if you don't have time to sit in front of your computer every day, then you're not going to be a day trader, right? Because the markets open at 9:30, they close at 4, so you have to be there. If you have a job, then a lot of people do swing trading, where they hold stocks for a few weeks, a few months. So that doesn't require as much time. So to learn, in our YouTube channel, LiveTraders, we have hours and hours of lectures. And I honestly believe that people don't even need to do anything else. Go through all the videos. We have videos from 2015 all the way accumulated. And if somebody really pays attention and just watches the YouTube video, you can learn how to trade just by watching, our YouTube videos.
No, that's good. So what's the difference between a trader and an investor?
Definitely. So an investor is somebody who's investing in the company for maybe the long haul, right? He would typically have more than 1 year of a time horizon. And he's typically betting on the company doing well, right? The company's CEO, the management, the product, the industry doing really well. So they're investing in that with the hopes of a future appreciation and the gain. Whereas a trader, we're taking advantage of those smaller moves, the volatility, right? So we see the stock market going up, we see the stock market going down. Investor will typically just hold throughout that, right? To get money in the long run. Whereas with traders, we're in and out all the time. We're trying to time. So let's say the markets in 2022 dropped 35%. So what if you sold around the top? You're never going to sell the top, but let's say you sold around the top, then you bought it back when it dropped 35%, and now the market's already up 11%. So we can ignore the downturn. So that's what a trader is doing, taking advantage of those opportunities.
So you just watch for the movement and you trade based on those movements. That's good. I know that, and I've heard this a lot, that you cannot time the market. I want to understand some of your strategies. You said as a day trader, you are sitting in front of your computer, maybe 8 hours a day. So the market opens in the morning. Do you, maybe the previous night, maybe you've identified some trades that you like to go in the morning, and maybe before the end of the day, you are hoping for some movement. Let's say you got in a store, let's say at $10, and you were expecting it to go high, but in this case, it went down. What are you going to do?
Great question. So with a trader, you have to have well-defined plan, meaning how much you're going to win when you win and how much you're going to lose when you lose. That's the most important thing, because in trading, we cannot control what the stock is going to do. We cannot control what the market's going to do. We cannot control what we're going to make on the trade. The only thing we can control is how much we're going to lose, because we can always get out, right? So a good trader will always cap his losses at a certain level. And once that triggers, so whatever your max loss is, so and it's going to be different for everybody. So for an experienced trader, he might be okay losing tens of thousands of dollars on a trade. For a newer trader, you might be not okay losing $100, right? So based upon whatever your limit is, once we hit that, let's say a stock goes starting to go down, you were wrong, and it hits your loss limit, we have to be very disciplined to just get out. So what we do is we exit the trade, we move on to the next trade. The problem happens when traders start holding on. Maybe it'll come back up. Maybe it'll come back up. Let me buy more. Let me lower my average price. Those are all the things that gamblers do, right? A real trader will be like, okay, put it on your spreadsheet, one loss, move on to the next trade. And if your winners are bigger than your average loser, then you only need to be right 40% of the time. Because think about it. If my average winner is $2,000 and my average loser is $1,000, then I only need to win 40% of my trades to make money. I could lose 6 out of 10 trades and still be profitable with those statistics in mind.
No, that's good. Thanks for sharing that. And it's funny because, you explained something that, hey, people want to hold on. Maybe it's going to come back up. That has been my experience. I want to hold on. I do not like losing money. And that will keep me in that particular trade for longer than I really wanted. So thanks for sharing that. So the lesson is that I got to know when to hold them and I got to know when to let go. So thank you, Anmol. So, we are sitting here talking about trading. Definitely there are people that have heard about this. They want to trade, but for some reason, maybe mindset, maybe fear, they couldn't start. Are there things you can share with them in terms of how they can start trading?
Yeah, I think you need to definitely find a mentor, right? Somebody who's already where you want to go. So you find somebody who's already has the results that you want, right? And then you do everything they say. Like for me, I learned under a mentor who's actually my business partner now. So when I was in college, I purchased his course, I signed up for his program, and I just started learning under him, and he was teaching me all these things. But the good thing that I did is once I found a mentor, I didn't go to left mentor, right mentor, watch this guy's videos, watch that guy's videos. I just found one person and did everything they said, ignoring all the other noises, right? And then he took me under his wing. He taught me how to trade. Eventually, I joined the company that he was, working for as a trader, trading the company's money. And that's how my progress started. And then in 2015, we teamed up together and we said, you know what, let's start LiveTraders. I'm your case study. You just taught me. Let's go and teach other people how to do the same thing. So,
Oh, that's awesome. So maybe I should brag about you a little bit because I noticed when you came in, you did not do the bragging. So I'm going to do that for you. So guys, Anmol just mentioned having a mentor. And I think about 2 episodes ago, I shared about why people need mentor. So here is for you. Anmol currently he has over 377,000 subscribers on his YouTube account, and he has about over 200,000 people followers on Instagram, and he's also there on Twitter. For me, that says a lot because people following you, consuming your content, that means they find your content valuable. So that's a great thing, Anmol, and kudos to you and your team for doing what you do. So I just wanted to talk about that real quick.
Sure.
So now you've told us how someone can get in. Are there minimum amounts that you would recommend to someone that want to get in and start trading?
Yeah, definitely. So if you want to get into day trading, then that's where you require more money. And that's just because there's a SEC and FINRA regulation that you cannot day trade if you have less than $25,000. So by that measure, the minimum for day trading would be 25,000. But I would really say 30,000, right? Give yourself some cushion because if you start with 25,000, you lose your first trade. Now you're below 25,000. So that's why you give it some cushion. But if you want to do swing trading, where we're holding stocks for a few days, few weeks, you can do that with anything. $3,000, $5,000, whatever that might be. And when it comes to investing, it's even better. You can start with nothing. Like you can start with $10, right? Just get in the habit of investing. And for some people, that might be the best approach. Trading is not for everybody. Trading is it's like a sport. You have to be dedicated to it. But investing is something that anybody can do right now from their phone. There's so many different apps now.
No, absolutely. I saw on Cash App, you can start investing with as little as $1. So
Yeah.
anyone, anywhere, you can start investing. So this is great. I like talking about mindset, growth mindset to be specific. You talk about mindset. Can you explain to us how can we develop a growth mindset in maybe business or whether it's trading or in our life? What do you mean by mindset growth?
Sure. So, growth mindset is when you are always looking for the growth opportunity in things, in any circumstance that happens, rather than saying, oh, why did this happen to me? Or, this is not going to work out, or just thinking in those terms, like this is not the right thing. It's not happening. Why does it keep happening to me? Rather than that, you need to think about what can I do? What do I need to do to make this better, right? What action step can I take? So thinking in those terms of what I can do rather than what happened to me. So the way to do that is to cultivate something called grit, which is when your passion meets persistence, right? So a lot of people these days are starting to think about plan B, plan C, plan D, and they have so many plans. What happens is in unconscious mind, you've already admitted that plan A might not be the best. It might not work. That's why you have all these other plans. So I believe in just picking one plan and just going all in and doing everything you possibly can to make that work and just burn the boats. That's called grit. You keep persisting, you keep going at it, and sooner or later you will see the result. Like I'll give you, when I was starting to trade, I lost money my whole first year. Okay. Whole first year I lost money. What if I gave up? What if I said plan B, let's move on? And I was in a job and I would still be there. So that I kept on going. In year 2, I kept on improving. I kept getting better. And this is what led to this, the life that I've created for myself is through grit, is to keep going and not taking no for an answer. Always thinking about what action step can I take next.
So Anmol, I like what you said about people having all these multiple plans. In the beginning of this year, I created a podcast episode telling people to go all in. So
Okay.
I'm so happy that you used the same word because, having all these multiple plans, it's good sometimes, but it's also saying that you do not have confidence in what you want, that you are going to get what you want. So go all in, be focused, be disciplined, learn from people. Yeah, you are going to make mistakes, but if you don't give up, if you persist, you are going to get results at the end. So that's awesome. Talking about mistake, Anmol, what are some mistakes that you have seen people make when it comes to day trading?
I think the biggest mistake is people focus too much about learning about trading, right? They focus about learning about stock market, learning about technicals, patterns, indicators. They start learning all about that. But the biggest difference maker, believe it or not, is actually your psychology, your mindset. Because I can teach anybody how to trade, but then would you have the confidence to execute on it? Would you have the confidence to pull the trigger, to take that trade? And then when you take it, do you have the discipline to get out when it's a losing trade? So that is half the battle, because learning how to trade is not that hard. Like, spend a weekend, I can teach you how to trade. But then your ability to be staying disciplined in the moment when things are not going your way, because trading is exactly like a sport. Like in a sport, you go through good streaks, you're just, everything's going correctly, and then you go through a bad streak, everything's not working, you're not in the form when it comes to sport. So it's literally like that. So you have to be okay with the ups and downs and learning how to ride the what ebbs and flows of the markets. So that is the biggest mistake, is people don't focus enough on their mindset.
Oh, that's good. So I love action plans. I love framework or tips. And you are an expert in day trading. I want to hear from you. What are some tips or framework that someone needs to look out for when they want to start day trading?
I think the number one thing is, a trading plan, which constitutes of three things. Anytime you're taking a trade, you need three things. When are you going to get into the stock? Number one, knowing your entry, knowing your exit when you're right, what's your target, right? And then knowing your exit when you're wrong. What is the loss limit? What's the stop loss, right? So stop loss order is what we put in the system, where if it hits that price, automatically your platform will close the position. So you cannot lose more than what you were risking, right? You already planned for it. And then the biggest thing to keep in mind for day trading, especially, is to make sure your winners are at least 2 times your average loser. So if you're losing $100 in your trade, your average winner should at least be $200. Because if you do that, then it's the best thing ever, because you win half the time, you make money. So it's literally like a coin flip, right? Comes heads, you make 200. Comes tails, you lose 100. Come heads, you make 200. You get tails, you lose 100. You keep doing that over and over and over, and that's how those profits stack up, if as long as your winner is bigger. The problem happens when people's losses are way bigger than their gains. That's where the problem comes in.
Oh, that's good. So you know your entry, your exit when you are right, and your exit when you are wrong. That's very good. So when you are not trading, Anmol, what else do you like doing?
So for me, I mean, I'm a avid reader. I'm really big into philosophy, psychology. So most of the time I'm either reading or doing some research in that field. And then rest of the day, when I'm not trading myself, I'll be coaching and training other traders who are learning. I run a newsletter where I send out whatever I'm doing. So every single trade that I personally take, I send it to, on the newsletter people, that I bought this, I'm selling this. So that way, that's something that I do even when I'm not actively trading, managing my portfolio, managing the newsletter, teaching my students, working on psychology, mindset, and things of that nature. And then sometimes I'm advising other startup companies. So as I said, I have 32 different startups that I'm an investor in. So sometimes it might be calls with the team, helping them on their marketing or helping them move the needle forward in their business. So the rest of the day is just spent talking to entrepreneurs.
That's awesome. I like that. So now, for someone out there listening to us, if they are interested to become your students, how does that process work?
Yeah, definitely. So I think the first thing people need to do is make sure you have an open mind and the willingness to learn, right? Number one. Now, if you have that, then the next step is to determine, as we were talking earlier, how much time can you devote to it? That'll help you figure out if you want to go the day trading route or you want to go the swing trading investing route. For majority people, swing and investing is where they should be focusing on first. So once you've narrowed that down, the next step is obviously to find a mentor or a coach. Now, obviously, if you can happily watch my style of trading, I live stream my trading every single day. So if you like the way I trade and you want to learn, then the best way would be to go to LiveTraders.com, and that's where they could make a free account and they'd be able to get my free introductory course as well as the intro guide. That will give them all the things that they need to know to get started.
Awesome. LiveTrader.com. That's good. So, Anmol, what does success? What does it mean to you?
Success to me means having success in all four areas, like health, wealth, love and happiness. Because, I could make as much as money as I want, but if my relationships are a mess, then am I really successful? Not really, right? I could be in the best body shape in my life, but if I'm broke, is that really success? Not really. So success is having success in all areas of your life, and then you being okay with where you are at in all of those areas. So I think that's kind of how I define true success. You living true to your word is success.
Living true to your word. I like that. Thank you for sharing that with us. So as we are rounding up, Anmol, where can my audience find you?
Yeah, definitely. So if they want to reach out to me, Twitter and Instagram is the best place. My handle on both of those is Delta90. It's DELTANINETY. Don't ask me why I have the username. I got it a long time ago, and then it got verified and stuff, so I didn't want to change it. So I just kept it. I kept it the same. And apart from trading, LiveTraders.com, or they can even get their free guide at LiveTradersGuide.com.
Perfect. LiveTrader.com, and we can find you at Delta90. One final thing, Anmol, I always like to motivate my audience, and I give my guests the opportunity to motivate them as well. Maybe in one sentence or in 1 minute, what can you tell my audience that will encourage them to start taking, their life seriously, make it more meaningful, and achieve success?
I think the number one success key, it's right from my book, it's integrity, right? Being a man or woman of integrity, which basically means do what you said you're going to do and then do it when you said you're going to do it. I mean, just think about it. How much would your life be different if you did every single thing you said you're going to do and then you did it exactly when you said you were going to do it? That's what creates momentum and results in your life. So make sure you're a person of integrity and pay close attention to every little word that's coming out of your mouth, because sometimes we say some things and we don't follow up on it, or we say, oh, I'm going to do this, and you don't. What ends up happening is it goes into your unconscious mind and then lowers your self-esteem, because your unconscious mind is like, oh, he said that last time. He didn't really do it. I don't believe him, right? So if you don't believe in your word, how do you expect the universe? How do you expect others to believe in you? So be a person of your word, have integrity, and watch how your success will thrive.
Awesome. Be a person of integrity. Tell us about your book. Where can we find it?
Yeah, definitely. I think Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Walmart, wherever they get their books, they can grab it. Otherwise, preppingforsuccess.com is where they can get more information about that.
Perfect. So that's where we are going to end it. Thank you very much, Anmol, for joining us on the show today. We have learned a lot from you, and I'm going to put all your links on my show notes so that my audience can connect with you. Definitely, there are going to be a lot of attractions to that trading. I know people would like to start making money. So thank you for your time today.
Perfect. It was great chatting with you. Thanks for having me.
All right.